establishment to back it out. I have to take 10 seconds here at the end. The red light isn't on yet.
What?
To say to Ross Perot, please don't say to the DEA agents on the street that we don't have the will to fight drugs. Please, I've watched these people, same for our local law enforcement, backing up in every way we possibly can. But maybe you meant that some of us fight it, but those that are out there on the front line, you've been strong backers of law enforcement. I just want to clear that up. Have the will to fight it, and frankly, some of them are giving their lives.
Mr. President. All right, let's get now to another subject of health. The first question for 2 minutes is to President Bush from Alaska.
Mr. President, yesterday, tens of thousands of people paraded past the White House to demonstrate their concern about the disease AIDS. A celebrated member of your commission, Magic Johnson, quit saying that there was too much. Where is this widespread feeling coming from that your administration is not doing enough about AIDS?
Coming from the political process. We have increased our funding for AIDS. We've doubled it on research and on every other aspect of it. My request for this year was $4.9 billion for AIDS, 10 times as much per AIDS victim as per cancer victim. I think that we're showing the proper compassion and concern. So I can't tell you where it's coming from, but I am very much concerned about AIDS, and I believe that we've got the best researchers in the world out there at NIH working the problem. We're funding them. I wish there was more money, but we're funding them far more than... Call me, let me know. He went to one meeting, and then we heard that he was stepping down, so he's been replaced by Mary Fisher, who electrified the Republican convention by talking about the compassion and the concern that we feel. It was a beautiful moment, and I think she'll do a first-class job on that commission. So I think the appeal is, yes, we care. And the other thing is, part of AIDS, it's one of the few diseases where behavior matters. And I did a superb job in destroying the myth about AIDS. All of us are in this.
Go ahead, read your book.
All of us care. Do not go to the extreme.
One minute, Mr. Perot.
First, I think Mary Fisher was a great choice. We're lucky to have her heading the commission. Secondly, I think one thing that if I were sent to do the job, I would sit down with the FDA, look exactly where we are. Then I would really focus on, let's get these things out. If you're going to die, you don't have to go through this 10-year cycle that FDA goes through on new drugs. Believe me, people with AIDS are more than willing to take that risk. And we could be moving out to the human population a whole lot faster than we are on some of these new drugs. So I think we can expedite the problem there. We go back a minute to racial divisiveness. All-time low in our country was the Judge Thomas and Anita Hill hearings, and those senators ought to be hanging their heads in shame for what they did there.
Over 150,000 Americans have died of AIDS. Well over 1.25 million Americans are HIV positive. We need to put one person in charge of the battle against AIDS to cut across all the agencies that deal with it. We need to accelerate the drug approval process. We need to fully fund the act named for that wonderful boy, Ryan White, to make sure we're doing everything we can on research and treatment. Life and death. I've worked in my state to reduce teen pregnancy and illness among children, and I know it's tough. The reason Magic Johnson resigned from the AIDS Commission is because the statement you heard tonight from Mr. Bush is the longest and best statement he's made about it in public. I'm proud of what we did at the Democratic Convention, putting 2 HIV positive people on the platform.